Hello, my name is Kevin Lemaire, and this is the budget plan for Carol's dream Disney vacation. Now, her and her family, her husband, herself, and her three children have wanted to go to Disney World for a long time, and she's trying to put away enough money over the next 24 months to make sure that that can happen. Now, she offers very limited data as it pertains to contingencies and what if type of situations, so I've taken some liberties in making some decisions to make it a little bit more decisive. So this PowerPoint is going to cover the summary cost and the preparation of the Dream Family Vacation. So if she decides to drive and take her family by land, Carol has a 2020 Toyota Highlander, and for the sake of the project, I decided that she owns a hybrid because as I was doing research, I found that there are 6 different model types for the Toyota Highlander with roughly 4 different miles per gallon in both combined city and highway miles. The hybrid boasts 36 miles per gallon for combined highway and city miles, so this is what I decided to go with. And the trip from Cincinnati, Ohio to Orlando, Florida is 1,798 miles round trip. So if Carol wants to get an accurate estimate on what her fuel mileage is going to be, she's going to have to look that up. And as I had just discussed, this Toyota Highlander hybrid is sitting at 36 miles per gallon, and this was 35 miles per gallon city miles and 36 miles per gallon highway miles. So the combined miles per gallon were 36 as well as the highway. So as we go into the fuel costs, we can see that the national price is $3.58 rounded up, and the entire round trip is 1798. So if we wish to calculate the gallons that we need, we divide 1798 by the 36 miles per gallon, which brings us to 49.94 gallons, just short of 50 gallons needed for this trip. And to calculate the cost of gas, we're going to multiply that 49.94 times the $3.58 to get $178.69. That's the total cost for gas. The depreciation costs for the car are kind of subjective. It doesn't necessarily mean that this is exactly what's going to have to be paid, but being that it's factored in for the assignment, and it is set for the Highlander at 60.8 cents per mile, the distance being 1798, we can calculate the depreciation by multiplying 1798 by this 0.608, which gives us 1093.18. So the total cost to drive, if they decide to take their vehicle from Cincinnati to Orlando, we have 178.69 for gas plus the 1093.18 for the depreciation, which brings us to 1,271.87 cents. So if they decided to go by air, we checked out airfare prices, and at Frontier Airlines, there's a $76 round trip ticket per person. So the total for the whole family to fly would be $380. And the baggage costs at the airport is going to be, it varies between weight and it varies between how many bags, but for 2 bags that are no more than 50 pounds, we're looking at $50 per bag. So if we are doing per bag, per person, and each person has 2 bags, then we have 2 bags times 5 people, and times 50, which is going to leave us $500 for baggage. And for the rental car, we have the cheapest choice that we could find at $35 per day, and the package came to including fees and taxes with $107.45. Now, when we're trying to get to the airport, we got to get there somehow. So if they decide to take their vehicle or not, they're going to have to get to the airport one way or the other. So they either have to go there themselves and park in the parking lot, in the parking garage, or they have to get an Uber, or they have to get a cab or something like that. Being that we don't have that extra information in terms of address and how far they actually need to go, it's fairly impossible to get an accurate estimate on how much it would cost for an Uber or a cab or something like that. So we're going to assume that they're going to drive to the airport and park in the parking garage. And at Cincinnati Airport, it is $20 per day to park in general parking for the airport garage, which puts us at $20 times 3, $60 total. So the grand total, if we decide to fly, is $380 plus $500 plus the $107.45 plus $60 for parking, brings us to $1,047.45. Now, I've gone ahead and made the decision that we should drive, because driving leaves much more options. While it's a little bit cheaper right here to fly, the cost of driving is kind of inflated due to the depreciation costs that may not necessarily be accurate. So we're looking at fairly less cost for the driving. Driving leaves you open to be able to make decisions at the last minute, go other places, and take advantage of other things. It just keeps you less locked down and less committed to being somewhere for your transportation. So now that Carol's decided that it would be in her best interest to drive, we have to handle the accommodation, food, entertainment, and incidentals for the entire family. So, hotel costs. Since hotels are so wide in variation, and we did not have any information further about special accommodations for Carol's family, we're going for the basics without any bells and whistles. And the most basic, cheapest hotel that we could find is currently at $72 per night. So 72 times 3 nights brings us to $216. And moving on to food costs, food is also a varying estimate. Now, given that Disney is fairly expensive and jacks up their prices on everything from food to clothes to just about anything they touch, Carol's figuring roughly $50 per adult and $30 per child per day should be should be good enough for everyone to be able to eat well, have good meals, probably 2 good meals out of the day. And if someone doesn't eat as much, then they have wiggle room for some extra treats or drinks or snacks or any of that type of thing. So to calculate the food budget, we have the 50 times 2 for the adults, the 30 times 3 for the kids. Add those two together and multiply them times 3, and we have $570 for that. And then for the incidentals and emergencies. Now, if she wants to be prepared for just about any scenario, she has to make sure that she's got gifts for everybody. She's going to make sure she's prepared for games and activities. And just in case anybody has an accident, having so many little kids, it's bound to happen. Or if maybe somebody forgot some toiletries that they might have needed to bring, toothpaste, deodorant, things of that nature, we have money for that. For the souvenirs and gifts, $300. For games and activities, we have $5. For the incidentals, $200. The 3 plus the 5 plus the 2, we get $1,000 right there for incidentals and emergencies. Now, for the Disney park tickets, those are a little more expensive. Carol's looking for a good deal to make the most out of her trip, and Disney offers a package deal for 4 days, 4 nights for 4 Disney parks. This is $99 per person, $396 per ticket. So we put that all together. $396 times 5 people, we get $1980 for the Disney park tickets. So the total trip budget is going to be $216 for the hotel, $570 for the food budget, $1980 for the Disney ticket price, transportation $1271.87, and the miscellaneous costs $1,000, and that puts us at $5541.66. Now we can see that the total cost of the vacation, that the Disney tickets are killing most of the pocket. Transportation is coming in second, and then we have the miscellaneous expenses, which again may not necessarily be spent. And we see that represented in the pie chart here. And down here now we have to find out how we are going to put this together over the next 24 months. So Carol has a savings account with Busk Bank, who offers savings interest rates at 4.85% APY. She intends to start saving minimum deposit amounts at least so she can cover that cost over the next 24 months, that $5,541.66. So to calculate the monthly interest rate so we can get that figured out, we take the 4.85% divided by 12, which brings us to 0.4042. To calculate the monthly deposit amount, we take the 5541.66 and multiply that by the interest rate, the monthly interest rate, divided by the 1.004042 to the 24th and minus 1, and then we get 220.35, which is our minimum monthly deposit balance. And as we look down, we can see in order to accrue the interest on that, in order to calculate that, we take the 220.35, multiply it times the interest rate, add the 220.35 for the monthly payment, plus the 220.35 that's already in there, and it brings us to our new total. And that continues all the way down until we reach our goal of 5541.64 in 24 months. And we hope that Carol's family has a great time. My name is Kevin Lemaire. Again, this has been my project for Carol's dream vacation for her budget. And my apologies that it took so long. Wanted to cover all the material. Thank you so much for your time, and have a great day.